Hello, my name is Aaron, and today I am reading My Special Friends. Once upon a time, not very long ago, there was a man living life as best as he knew how. One day, while he was on his evening stroll through the park, he came across a door. An impossible door. It was there, but not at the same time. It was solid gold, adorned with precious gems in familiar patterns. There were suns of rubies, stars of diamonds, moons of sapphires. Even as the man stood there staring, the door flickered like a flame on a candle, wavering but not ceasing. Cautiously, he reached for the amethyst doorknob and gave it a turn. The man was yanked inside the door by an invisible force, and he found himself in a quiet, sunlit meadow with various colored flowers dotting the area. Looking about, he saw no door. How was he supposed to get home? Where was he now? "Hello," the man tried to yell, but it came out hoarse and odd sounding. Just then, a black king cobra slithered out from the patch of white daisies. Drawing itself up, it opened its hood to reveal a crimson patch with bluish green designs on either side of its face that looked like smaller versions of itself. "How's it going?" the snake hissed politely. "Did you get yourself lost, Mr. Shadow?" Looking down, the man found that he was indeed no longer a man at all, but a wisp of a shadow. "Not good at all. I'm not supposed to be a shadow. I'm supposed to be a man, a human. And I'm talking to a snake. This is most abnormal," replied the wisp. "My name is—" "Silence!" the snake interrupted sharply. "Names are prohibited here in the realm of Newwood. From here on, everyone shall know you simply as Shade, as that is the first form you've taken. Most inhabitants of this land shall only ever take one form." Appearing at Snake's sharp whistle, two nightingales appeared, one flamingo pink and the other seafoam blue. "Spread the word. A newcomer by title of Shade has appeared." Like a shot, the birds were off, singing of the new arrival. "Shade, I guess I can live with that, but how can I get my body back and go home?" asked Shade. "You must ask the Great One," squeaked a new voice. Climbing up Snake's head, a small tan and brown ferret stood on its hind legs. "A great The Great White One may know, if anyone does." "Where do I find this Great White One then?" Shade asked, confused. "Talking animals, Great White One, is this all a dream or a nightmare?" "Where she resides, of course," laughed Ferret, as if that cleared everything up. "It's a bit of a ways to the north through the forest," Snake explained. "Ferret is something of a comedian. At least she thinks she is." "At least I'm not a fuddy-dudley like you," quipped Ferret with a cackle. "Hysterical," replied Snake with a eye roll. "Follow my advice. Stick to the path in the forest. It's easy to get lost." With that, Snake whipped his head as he redirected his body to go about his business, sending Ferret rolling out of sight with a giggle. "What are you doing over there, Binks?" Turning to the forest, Shade started towards the opening, but was stopped once more by Ferret. "Silly Snake forgot to mention it, but you ought to have an offering for the Great One. The flowers in this here meadow would do nicely. A nice bouquet of wildflowers may help her to be in a more helping mood." With that, Ferret bounced off. Unsure if this was another joke, but unwilling to chance it, Shade started gathering daisies, daffodils, tulips, and other various flowers of assorted colors. Flowers in shadowy hand, Shade started his trek into the forest. The difference between the meadow and the forest were like night and day. Where the meadow had been bright and warm like an early summer afternoon, the forest was cool and dim like dusk on an autumn day. After walking for a while and a great distance, Shade heard something in the distance. Pausing, he listened harder. It was singing. Although the words were faint, it was definitely the tune of a ballad song. Hanging on the air, thick as perfume, was the unmistakable scent of food. Shade's stomach rumbled. He was slightly relieved to know he still had some semblance of humanity left. The singing and the scent was both off the path, though he had been warned it was best to stay on the path. His stomach argued with another rumble and won the debate. Picking his way over the roots poking out of the ground, Shade followed the delectable smell to a small rustic wood cabin hidden deeper in the woods, with the brick chimney releasing a steady stream of plum-colored smoke. Approaching the yard, trying to decide whether he should knock or not, Shade was startled when the door of the cabin suddenly slammed open and an emerald green cat strolled out, singing a song about love. Cat was dressed like a sultan in purple and red silks, and perched on his folded ears was a chef's hat. Cat seemed unfazed by Shade's presence, continued singing while doing a twirl about Shade, and indicated with his tail that Shade should join him at the outdoor table. Finishing his song, Cat said, "Welcome to me humble abode. I have been expecting you." He started to dish up some kind of purplish pink stew and finger sandwiches for his guest. "You have?" Shade inquired. "Did you see me through a crystal ball or something?" "Nothing so vulgar or fun. I could smell you since you entered the forest. I thought you might be getting hungry, so I whipped up this meal for us. Lemonade." Cat held up a pitcher that appeared from seemingly nowhere. "Please," accepted Shade. He had no idea where he was, but it couldn't get any worse, could it? "Did you hear about me from the Nightingales, then?" "Yes, I heard the news as they flew to inform the rest of Newwood." Taking a sip of his own lemonade, Cat studied his guest with interest. "It's been ages since we've had a visitor to our realm. You've caused a huge stir. No worries, though. Everyone behaves themselves here. They make sure of it." Sorry, but who are they? And can they help me get home and back to normal?" Shade asked nervously. "They're the most powerful beings in the realm, but also they are also the most fair. No one really rules here, but the one you brought flowers for is revered and respected by all." Cat responded, indifferent. "She may know best the answer to your question. I can only offer you food, rest and food." "How do you know why I have flowers?" Shade asked. "Did you hear my conversation with Ferret too?" "Ha! My hearing is great, but not that great. No, I concluded you must have been told it was her favorite because you don't seem to have any other use for flowers in your current state. Now, you've eaten, so perhaps you should be on your way." Cat started clearing the dishes away as Shade stood up to take his leave. Panic suddenly washed over Shade. I was also warned that I could get lost easily if I strayed from the path. Lucky for you, I can serve as a guide. My nose can pick up your trail from when you came here, and we can follow it back. A reddish-brown golden retriever came trotting from the cabin. Thank you, Shade said, relieved. You're welcome, though I do advise heeding warnings in the future. Warnings are given for a reason. To ignore them could be perilous, replied Dog. Having bid Cat farewell, the pair set forth to the forest path. Where did everyone here come from? I mean, originally. Are you native to this place, or did you find yourselves here too? Shade asked, following Dog back through the thick trees and protruding roots. A bit of both, answered Dog. We all have our own history. I can't tell you where anyone came from. I came from another place, but chose to stay after spending some time here. Everyone's story is different. Some will share, others won't. I would advise not prodding, though. Some have painful pasts they would sooner forget than share. Reaching the path, Dog pointed Shade in the direction he should go to meet the Great One, then disappeared back into the forest. Reaching the end of the forest at last, Shade found himself in a great grassland area that was once again different. Here it was spring-like. A clear blue sky was barely visible through all the cherry blossom trees in full bloom that stood in rings, each ring growing larger and larger from the center of these plains. In the center, a large flat rock stood alone. Atop the rock was, without any doubt, the Great One. She was very beautiful as well as graceful, staring at him silently since before he came out of the forest. Welcome to my realm of cherry blossoms, she greeted him as Shade came closer. Are those flowers for me? They are, replied Shade. If I might be so bold, who are you? I am what humans have called the nine-tailed fox or demon fox. Personally, I am partial to Kumiho and as such would be pleased if you were to address me as such. White as freshly fallen snow, her 9 tails neatly curled up beside her, Kumiho was the splitting image of the old folklore images, but on a massive scale. She was as large as a polar bear, which made it more impressive that she plucked a single white daisy from the bouquet Shade had placed by her massive paw and popped it into her mouth, much like chocolate. Delectable, Kumiho sighed. You are wanting to know how to regain your human form. It was not a question. To do that, you must first find yourself. You must discover what it was that was you. This realm is connected to many realms. Talk to the guardians of each of those realms. They can offer assistance, but this task is yours alone. Success or failure is completely up to you. Kumiho gestured towards an opening in the east as it was highlighted by a ray of sunshine. Good luck. And here is the end of part 1. Because this is a very long short story, I'm going to break it into at least 2 parts. I don't know how many yet. So, thank you for watching.